Hi, this is Debbie from Organic Oasis in California, Zone 9B. Look at these beautiful green beans that we harvested from our organic suburban backyard last night. It's about 2 pounds, and there's different varieties here. I have the dragon tongue, beautiful purple green beans, and then I have some Kentucky green beans and some Japanese. There's a few different types, and I will do another video and I will show you my plants and the types of beans that each plant grows. I mix them all up when I cook with them, and they just make a delicious combination. So today I'm cooking a recipe from a local restaurant here in California, and the chef has some wonderful recipes. The restaurant has since closed down, sad to say, but I purchased 2 of their cookbooks, and so I'm going to be making this recipe today. It's French filleted beans with caramelized shallots, bacons, and hazelnuts. And it sounds delicious, and believe me, it is delicious. It's one of my favorite green bean recipes. So let's get cooking. So I have my green beans here, and I'm just prepping them for steaming. And I just usually use my hands. When the beans are fresh, they're just easy to snap off the ends and just snap them. They break into almost into the perfect place where they want to break, is where I break them. You know, if you use a knife, that's faster, and then you can cut them if you want them all even pieces. But I kind of like just doing it with my hands because, as you can see, they just snap where they want to snap. It's like a perfect, it's just perfect. If they don't snap, then you know they're probably not, they're either maybe overly soft, they haven't been stored properly. Usually when I harvest my green beans, though, as you can hear them, they're fresh and they just kind of snap easily, and they snap where they want to snap, where they're ready to snap. They just come out perfect. There's nothing I don't have anything against. Cutting them with a knife, I just have always preferred doing them like this. So I have 2 pounds to go, and I won't bore you. I will come back. As you can see, I have different types of beans here and different ages of beans. So when I harvest my beans, I have 4 bags outside filled with them, and I have maybe 3 to 5 green bean plants in each bag. I will make my video later showing this and showing the varieties I'm growing. But when I harvest, I just like to harvest all of them. Otherwise, what happens is, you harvest just the big ones, and then you go back and you have just a couple little ones, not enough to make a meal. So if I wait and harvest them all at the same time, then I get a few pounds, and then I can actually make a recipe. Otherwise, if I harvest them just like a few at a time, I either put a bag in the freezer and start adding to it and just have frozen beans, or I just use the little I have and throw them into soups and stews and things like that. But it's really nice to have a big amount where you can actually make like the recipe I'm making today. So that's why I'm doing this, because I got such a nice big harvest. So I will come back as soon as my beans are ready to move to the next step. Here's my Ninja cooking system, and basically I use this as my crock pot, my go-to crock pot, but also it's great. It has a steamer function, and if you just turn this knob to steam and you set the timer for how long you want your vegetable to steam, then it will beep like it's doing now when it's ready to add the vegetables. You can see there's a basket inside and the water is underneath boiling. So I'm just going to add my beautiful green beans that are all prepped. I've taken all the ends off of them, and I'm just going to pour these in here like this and put the lid on, and I'm going to steam them for 10 minutes. And I think 10 minutes should be sufficient, but I will check them when the beeper goes off after 10 minutes and make sure they're soft enough. So as we're waiting for the green beans to steam, we're going to take our shallots, and I'm doubling the recipe. So the recipe called for 4, but I have 8. And I'm actually going to, what we need to do is just quarter the shallot. So to make it easier for myself, I'm going to go ahead and half it, and then I'm going to remove the skin, the peel. And once I get that removed, I'll just quarter it like this. Okay, and I'll just set it aside for the next step. And I'm going to do that for all 8 of the shallots. This one does not want to cut. There we go. This way it just makes it a little bit easier to quickly peel these. If the skin is hard to get off, I just move to the next layer of the peel. Then it's just easier and quicker to get it off like this. And I didn't get enough of the end on this one. There we go. Ooh, my eyes are burning already. I'll come back when I'm finished. So the next thing we're going to do while we're waiting for the beans to steam is to prepare the bacon and start to saute it. So the bacon, it calls for 2 thick slices of bacon for every pound of beans. And I don't have thick bacon. My bacon's thin. It's the frozen. It's the nitrate free. You can buy it at Costco. And it's just very thin, as you can see. So I doubled the bacon. So, and since I'm doubling my recipe and I'm making 2 pounds of beans, I have 8 slices of bacon. So normally with 2 pounds, if I had thick bacon, it would be 4 slices of thick bacon. Because I'm using this very thin bacon, I'm using 8 slices. So we want to dice it, but I like to just use scissors to cut my bacon into little pieces. I do this because, to be honest, I don't like, it's hard when I get the bacon grease all over my cutting board. It's hard to get it all off. So it's easier to wash my scissors. So I'm going to put this on the heat and start to saute it. So this bacon that I'm using has been pre-cooked. And I want a little bit of oil in here. I don't think I'm going to get enough bacon fat out of the bacon since it's pre-cooked. So I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to saute this. The green beans are finished. I tested them out and they're cooked. So I'm going to remove them from the steam and cool them down. I'm going to leave this cooking for just a little bit. I'll be right back. I am cooking the bacon here, sauteing it, and I want my bacon nice and crispy. The recipe says it'll take about 10 minutes, but this is pre-cooked bacon, so it's already starting to crisp up. Now the recipe also says to remove the bacon and then add the shallots. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to add my shallots to the pan. I like my bacon real crispy. The shallots should not take that long to cook. I want them caramelized and brown. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in, mainly because, like I said, I'm not getting a whole lot of fat out of the bacon. So we're going to be cooking these shallots probably for 5 minutes or so. I have the heat right now on medium. I'm thinking this is going to probably take about 5 minutes. If I turn the heat up, I can caramelize quicker, but I don't like cooking on medium high that much because now I'm looking, the bacon is getting kind of crispy. I don't want to over cook the bacon, so I'm just going to keep it on this temperature and cook for about 5 minutes, and I'll be right back. Bacon is nice and crunchy, crumbly, dark, cooked. If you do not like your bacon that cooked, then what you should do is remove the bacon before you put your onion in to caramelize. I like my onion very dark, so this is perfect for me. The shallots are nice and brown and caramelizing. They've been cooking for maybe 6 minutes. Again, if you don't like onion, this probably isn't the recipe for you, but you could also cook it and just put in less. I'm just kind of trying to separate the onion as it cooks, making sure that it's not clumped up and it's separated and all of it's nice and caramelized. You can kind of hit it like this and it kind of squishes it out of there. Okay, now it is time to add the green beans back in to this. Okay. I just want to make sure the onions are not, all of them are nice and caramelized here. So as you can see, I'm just kind of hitting them and it separates them like this, making sure they're all really cooked and caramelized and sweet. It'll be delicious if the onions are all nice and sweet. Okay, I'm going to add the green beans in. They're all steamed. I'm going to just add these in. So I'm going to kind of mix it up. I'm going to turn the heat back, actually turn it down. I don't really want to cook anything now. I just want to mix this up and heat the green beans back up again and mix this. Which kind of what I'm doing is like a folding method, putting my flat spoon under and flipping up so I don't knock them out of the pan. There's an onion that didn't actually get separated. Got to get that separated. Okay, this is looking good. All right. Now, I'm going to turn the heat down and we're going to move on to the last step. The last step is we want to add some hazelnuts, and we want to toast these hazelnuts and then chop them up. So I have this little Dash toaster oven that I bought. I really like it. And I'm just going to put the little tray in here. Now this toasts very quickly. So I'm just going to put it on 5 minutes and keep an eye on it so it doesn't burn them. So the hazelnuts are toasted. And the little Dash toaster oven works really well, but you have to be, like I said, careful. And as you can see, these are, I only kept them in a few minutes and they toasted very quickly. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to break them up. I'm going to chop them up just with my KitchenAid immersion blender. So I have the hazelnuts in here. This came with my KitchenAid immersion blender. And I don't want to pulverize these. I just want to break them into some smaller pieces. So I'm going to use this immersion blender and I'm just going to I put my hand over it so it doesn't squirt out. As you can see, it works pretty well, but they're not all done yet. They're almost all done. Okay. So you can see they're pretty chopped up. The green beans are heating here. They're just cooked, but everything's mixed up here, and I'm just keeping them warm on the oven. And now I'm going to take this chopped hazelnuts, and I'm just going to sprinkle them all over the top, just like this. And if there's a few that come out whole, it's okay. Whoever gets those whole ones will be lucky. And there you go. The last thing I'm going to do is sprinkle a little tiny bit of salt and pepper into this dish. And I'm going to stir it up one last time before serving it. And then mix it all up so that those nice hazelnut crumbles will get mixed in here. And delicious. Look at this. It is so delicious. So here we are. This delicious green bean recipe is finished. And it is delicious. It is one of my favorite green bean recipes. So anyway, try this dish. You will love it. It's also a great recipe to make for Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, so that's another time I actually make this recipe is Thanksgiving dinner. It's fantastic. And it goes great with, your turkey or your ham. So anyway, I love this time of year with all the fresh vegetables coming out of our garden. Green beans are so easy to cook. I mean, they're easy to cook. They're also easy to grow. They're easy to grow. They're one of the actually easiest vegetables. You pop the seeds in. The seeds are big, so you don't have to worry about trying to figure out the little tiny seeds. And you plant them and they come up quickly, they germinate quickly, and they grow fast, and then they produce. And this year I'm trying to do succession planting, so I keep green beans going all summer long. But again, we grow them in grow bags, small grow bags, just 7-gallon grow bags. And you can put quite a few plants in, like about 4 in one 7-gallon grow bag. So you get a lot of beans. So this came from my I think I have 4 bags going right now. And this is what I got when I harvested them last night. But I will do another video on I'll show you my green beans, the types of green beans I'm growing. So when you decide to plant yours, you'll have an idea of what type you want to grow. And then I'll come up with more recipes. And next season I will I'll try to do a video on growing actually from the beginning to the end. So you can see how I actually started my plants. If you love these videos, please continue to support Tomato Tim and I, and let's grow together. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.